Hello and welcome back to your 30-day Pilates journey. Today is day 16 and we are working on the spine stretch forward. Now the spine stretch forward is literally my favorite exercise. I'm obsessed with it. So if you're not, I apologize in advance, but this is still going to be great for you. There are three elements to this exercise, three main elements. Number one is the articulation of the spine in and out of a C curve. Two is your C curve, and three is the stretch of the back and the legs in the C curve. So we're going to be working all three elements today and working in and out of the spine stretch forward because it is everywhere in the Pilates system of exercises. You can see it in most of the exercises in the mat work. It's really amazing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get moving. So I'm going to have you start on hands and knees. So we're going to make sure that knees are right below hips and wrists are right below shoulders, and that you're in a nice neutral flat spine position. And now from here, we're just going to work into a C curve, dropping your head, dropping your tail, and pushing your rib cage and your mid back and your low back up towards the ceiling. And now if you are here and you feel like you're not going very far, or if you're here, since we all are here, let's think about lifting the abdominals up and in towards the sky a little bit more to help flex your spine in the C curve. And then just shake your head no a couple of times to let your neck be nice and long and relaxed. And then we'll go ahead and flatten out the back. All right, let's do that a couple more times. Pressing into the hands, pressing down into the shins, and then rounding through your back, finding a deep stretch, a deep C curve, and lifting your abdominals up and in, and then go ahead and find a nice flat spine. Let's do that one more time, rounding through your back, pulling the low abdominals in, and then finding your nice flat spine. Awesome. Now, from here, I'm going to have you lie down on your back and we're going to work our way into some roll-ups. You can bend your knees if you're feeling tight in your back, but what we're going to do is kind of work through the articulation of the spine next to help us. So I want you to just reach your arms straight out from your shoulders, reaching them straight up towards the ceiling, and then pull your low abdominals in. And then think of flattening your entire spine into the mat. And for me, I'm going to have to bend my knees to get my tail really under to make that happen. Now I'm going to think of my head going first and the rest of the spine following. So the head lifts, the neck lifts, the shoulders lift, and really take your time with this. If you feel like you're skipping any parts, like you're really peeling your spine up off the mat like a line of tape, we're going to go up, up, up to the low back and pause, and then roll down. So we're not really picking that low back up off the mat. And then we're just setting that spine down like a line of tape again onto the floor. You don't want any wrinkles or air in the tape on that mat. So we'll lift again from the head, going through 1, 2, 3, peeling that spine up off the mat. And if you remember when we were working on our 10 count roll-up, so we're basically going to, I would say, number 7, and then rolling all the way down with control, really feeling that spine articulate. I'm taking special care in my upper back because that is where my back is stiff. Where is your back stiff? Where can you take special care? We'll lift and do this 2 more times, peeling that line of tape up off the mat, and then rolling down. Ooh, that takes a lot of effort. Good, 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 good. Let's do one more. Last one, I promise. See if you can concentrate a little bit more on each section, really working that articulation through. I like to think of pressing one section down so that the one above it can lift off. And then roll it on down. Awesome work. Now let's come up to a seated position. We're going to do our spine stretch forward. So I'm going to have you take your legs long and wide. You can always bend the knees here if you want to concentrate on the stretch in the back, which I recommend if your hamstrings are tight. Arms reach out in front of your shoulders, and you're sitting up tall in a flat back position. So here an image that works for me is feeling like my spine is on a wall and I'm pressed up against a wall here. I'm going to start to peel my spine off of the wall, starting with my head. So maybe think of that subway head action that we did in our container practice. And the weight of the head carries your spine up and over the top of a beach ball, a barrel, a rainbow, whatever image works for you. But your low back stays planted against that wall, just like what we practiced on the mat. And then we'll go ahead and start to put each section of the spine back up on the wall, piece by piece, and make sure that your head is the very last thing to come up. Finding length here in your seated position. We'll take that 2 more times. Drop your head down, rounding over into your stretch. And the rounder you get, the more the crown of the head reaches to the floor in between your knees, the deeper C curve you'll get, the deeper stretch you'll get. And then we'll go ahead and stack your spine all the way up to the top. Woo. 1 more time, dropping your head down, pulling your waist up and in. I like to give my seat a little squeeze here, making sure that my lower body is active, and that also helps me keep my powerhouse tight, my abdominals in, my low back reaching backward as the rest of the spine reaches forward, and then stack your spine all the way up to the top. Now, I said earlier that the spine stretches everywhere, and just so we're gonna put it somewhere into our open leg rocker. So scoot forward in your space, make sure you have enough room to rock back and forth on your mat. You're gonna bend your knees, grab the backs of your thighs, tip back, find a balance on your tailbone. Legs open in a tabletop position. So this is like your level number 1. If you wanna go into the full expression and you have that flexibility, you can grab to your ankles in an open leg position. And this, anywhere in between that tabletop position and this position is acceptable. So now if you take a look here, or if you look into your own body in your mind's eye, you can see that spine stretch, reaching the arms forward, long legs. We're scooping deeply into the abdominals, and I'm in a slight C curve. I'm gonna go back into a rock and deepen my C curve so that I rock and roll smoothly. So we'll go back, we'll come up, hopefully, and find a balance. And we'll just practice that a few more times. Rocking back, rocking up, maintaining the shape, maintaining straight elbows. And if your legs are straight, maintaining straight knees. Good, a couple more times here. Yes, and then whatever rep count you're on, let's do 1 more. And we'll meet at the top. And then let's zip the thighs together. Good. And now you're in a closed leg rocker position. Reach for your toes. Good. And then we're going to look at this. We're in a spine stretch forward. We're going to roll out of that spine stretch forward onto the mat as you lift your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Down to the lower back. Control it. Control it. Control it. Control it. Drop your head down. Bend your knees in. Woo, and you are all done with your spine stretch forward practice. I hope this was a little bit fun, taking a little closer look at this particular exercise today. I will see you on the mat tomorrow for day 17.